Okay, we are discussing chord construction. Chordal construction. We're going to base all our chords on a C. And there are 4 different types of triads we're working with, and their inversions. As we know, a triad consists of a root, a third, and a fifth. Okay. So a C triad, starting on C, would be the notes C, E, and G. In music, it would be C here, E here, and G here. Now we're going to also call this a C major triad. Okay, the reason it's major is because the distance from the root to the third is a major third, and we can find that by counting the half steps. If C is our root, C sharp would be 1 half step, D would be 2, D sharp would be 3, and E would be 4 half steps. So 4 half steps from C to E makes our major third. And if I play it on the piano, it gives us our major third sound. The other part of the triad is the distance to the fifth. So from C up to G is our interval of a perfect fifth, which is 7 half steps. Okay, that gives us our perfect fifth. C sharp 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 to G. So the distance from C to G gives us our perfect fifth, and sounds like that. If we play the 3 notes of the triad together, that gives us our C major chord. There is also one more interval within this triad that's a little less important, but really good to know. The distance from the third to the fifth, E to G, is also a minor third. Okay? So the minor third, if the major third is 4 half steps, a minor third is going to be 3 half steps. So I'm counting from E up to G. E, F is 1, F sharp 2, G is 3. So 3 half steps from E to G gives us our minor third. Okay. Always in our triad, we will have a combination of a major third from the root to the third and a minor third from the third to the fifth, creating our perfect fifth from the root to the fifth if it's a major triad. The other version of a triad would be a minor third from the root to the third. So how we do that is by taking away one of those half steps of the 4 from the major third. Instead of 4 half steps to E, we're going to go 1, 2, 3 half steps to E flat. That gives us the interval of a minor third, E flat in the music, and that is going to change our triad from a C major to a C minor. So now we have the interval of C to E flat on the bottom of our triad. And we still have the perfect fifth from C to G, and the 3 notes together create a C minor triad. We are going to take this one step further and change another note of our triad. We can put a G flat in this triad. Now what we're doing is flatting the fifth, and we also have a minor triad. So there's a few different ways you'll hear this in music described a few different ways. We can be very descriptive and call this triad a C minor triad with a flat 5. C minor, flat 5. Okay. C, E flat, G flat. There's the difference from the C minor to the C minor flat 5. Again, here's the C minor triad. Here's the C minor flat 5. A little bit more of a dissonant sounding triad because it doesn't have that nice perfect fifth in it. It now has what we call a diminished fifth. 6 half steps from C to G flat. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 half steps gives us a diminished fifth. We're making that fifth smaller. Okay? Because of that name, diminished fifth, this triad is also known as a C diminished triad. This little circle above and to the right of the C is the symbol for a diminished triad. C diminished. This little circle means diminished. Okay. So that's 3 different kinds of root position triads. We're calling it root position because the root is the lowest note of the chord. It's the base of the chord. So far we've had major, minor, and diminished. If we go back to our major triad, oh, by the way, we also have the G flat up there. If I get rid of the E flat and the G flat, and I go back to my major triad, C, E, and G, there's one more triad that we can create from out of the root position that's much less common than any of the other 3 triads. Obviously the majors and minors are most common. Diminished you will see every once in a while. And the one more triad we can create is by having a major chord and putting a sharp on the G. I'm going to put it on the other side. Making this a G sharp. So the notes C, E, and G sharp. Okay, what we're doing now is we still have a major third from C to E, but now from the root to the fifth of the chord, we have it's no longer a perfect fifth. We are making that fifth bigger. Remember, a perfect fifth was 7 half steps. Now by making this a G sharp, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 half steps from C to G sharp creates what's called an augmented fifth. Remember, if we augment something, that means we're making it bigger. So we're going from 7 half steps to 8 half steps, creating a bigger sounding fifth. Here's C to G, perfect fifth. Here's C to G sharp, an augmented fifth. Some more dissonant sounding interval, can be. Okay, C, G sharp. Okay, now if I add that third in the middle, C, E, and G sharp, I now have what's called a C augmented triad. And that symbol for an augmented is just a little plus by the C. Right. C, E, G sharp. 4 different kinds of root position triads. Major, which is a root, a major third, and a fifth. Minor, which is a root, a minor third, so I'm going to call that a flat 3 and a fifth. Diminished, which is a root, a minor third, I'm going to call it a flat 3, and a diminished fifth, so a flat 5, and augmented, which is a root, a major third, and a sharp 5. 3 different flavors of triads. Major, C, E, G, minor, C, E flat, G, diminished, C, E flat, G flat, and augmented, C, E, G sharp. Okay. The next video I'm going to explain how these chords are used in majors and minor keys.